Hello, everyone, and welcome to Slack on Flicks, the podcast. I'm your host, film critic, and 16 News Now producer, Benjamin Slack. You see the name right there. Know it? Please know it. Well, happy holiday season, everyone. We are officially in the Christmas time of the year. And, if you know me, then you know that I absolutely love this time of any year. The last 3 months are always my favorite: October, November, December. I mean, you got to think about it. October, the weather is beautiful. The leaves are changing. They're starting to fall. It looks gorgeous outside. Weather is nice. You get to watch, as a movie fan, you get to watch all kinds of scary movies, the classic Universal monsters like I always do. Then you get modern classics like Poltergeist. You can watch films like this, any time of the year, and they're good no matter what. But there's only one time of the 365 days out of the year that they just feel right. November, and then, of course, it all leads up to Halloween, which is my second favorite holiday of all time. Just the atmosphere, hanging out with friends, going to haunted houses. It's fantastic. November, again, the weather is very nice. You got football going on, both NFL and college. Over here in South Bend, it's fantastic to have a good time on the Saturday home games here at Notre Dame. And it all builds up to what is arguably the best holiday meal of all time, Thanksgiving. I'm still thinking about the one I had with my family this year, and it was very nice. It was a good time. And then, of course, right now we got Christmas, the happiest time of the year. Just the emotion you feel throughout this time, the music, the movies. There's something just uplifting every time Christmas comes up. You can be down in the dumps or depressed as ever, but when Christmas starts, at least for me, I can't help but always be in the most cheerful mood that I've always ever been. We're here to talk about movie news, what's going on at the box office, what films I've seen, or at least I hope you are. But either way, let's get into the most important thing. I apologize that I did not have an episode out yesterday or the Tuesday out before that. We had stuff going on. But you know what? I think it worked out in the end because the Golden Globe nominations came out yesterday. I have my script right here in front of me right now. Yes, you're actually looking at the script that I read off of in most episodes. It obviously doesn't look like this all the time, but I got my little cliff notes here, and I thought, how about I let the audience actually see me read these nominations, Walter Cronkite style, for, what is arguably the second most popular award show in all of the entertainment industry. Of course, I'm not going to read it Cronkite style. There's only one of those. I'm going to read this Benjamin Slack style. But either way, for Best Motion Picture Drama, we have at the top of the list from Netflix, Frankenstein from Guillermo del Toro. Now, this is a film that takes the classic tale of a scientist who creates a monster and then feels bad about it, only for it to come and harbor revenge on him. It took it in a very unique way that it balanced tropes from both the classic novel by Mary Shelley, as well as moments, you'll always think about the classic story when it comes to the movies. It took those two elements and put them in a film that overall felt very satisfying and was very well received by most critics, including myself. I thought the performances were very well done. We'll get to those in a second, but overall, very good film. We also have Hamnet nominated, It Was Just an Accident, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, and Sinners from Warner Brothers Pictures. Now, this was one of the year's most entertaining films, I definitely have to say, and I'm definitely going to say this. I might be a minority on this. I don't think I've ever heard anybody else say this, but to me, this was a film that made vampires scary once again. With a director like Ryan Coogler and star like Michael B. Jordan, you can't go wrong. Moving on, though, we have Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. That's one thing I always liked about the Golden Globes. We get these two separate categories when it comes to films. You get the dramas and you get the comedies. You got the films that are taken seriously, and then you get the films that are taken for pure entertainment. There's just something I find that very relatable for any casual movie fan out there. And we have Blue Moon nominated from Sony Pictures Classic. I'm sorry if I butcher this name right here, Boygonia. Obviously, you could tell I have not seen that film yet. We have Marty Supreme, No Other Choice. Now Valley Vogue. I'm sorry, Netflix. I apologize. One Battle After Another. Now, this was a film that took its social commentary very seriously, and it presents a tale that never never stops from being entertaining. It never felt boring and was just totally suspenseful all the way through. Mix in a little bit of comedy there from its star actors, except for Sean Penn, who was actually terrifying. And you got yourself what is probably, I'm going to predict it right now, the award winner in that category. I'm predicting it right now. Best Motion Picture Musical or Comedy, One Battle After Another. Okay, now we got Best Motion Picture Animated. Best animated feature. We got Argo from Neon. Demon Slayer. We got the Demon Slayer, which very dominated the box office. Oh, it's slayed at the box office. Slay. That's bad. That's totally bad. Sorry, Cheyenne. Didn't mean to take your catchphrase out of tone right there. We got Elio from Pixar Animation Studios. Well, Walt Disney Motion Pictures to be exact. But that's actually kind of a surprise because I saw that film. I didn't think it was the best. It was far from the worst Pixar film. It was an interesting concept. I really liked the story that played out. It was very heartwarming at times. But overall, compared to other Pixar films, it just wasn't, I don't know. I just don't think it really hammered in that good balance of working for both adults and children at the same time. It's a win, but it just barely passed the finish line. And from Netflix, that's it. Do I even have to say that? An animated film from Netflix? I think you know instantly what I'm talking about. But tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. K-pop Demon Hunters. It's probably one of the most popular animated films of all time. It actually worked really well. It really took the world by storm. There's no doubt about that. But it really had a heartbeat of a plot, very catchy music, and the themes of friendship that were presented in were just very, very, very relatable. And I have a few songs on my Spotify playlist. You can't go wrong with that. From the G Kids, we got Little Emil or the Character of Rain. I'll definitely have to check that out because the title is definitely intriguing. And we got Zootopia 2 from Walt Disney Motion Pictures, Walt Disney Animation Studios. This is the highest grossing animated film of all time. I'm going to be talking about it in a little bit, but I do think that, while not the very best film to come from Walt Disney Animation Studios, the praise that it's getting, it is well-deserved. From the characters right down to the cast that matches the characters that they are performing. Very well done. Best performance by a female actor in a motion picture, drama. We have Jessie Buckley from Hamnet, Jennifer Lawrence from Die My Love, Renee Rezine from Sentimental Value, Julia Roberts from After the Hunt, Tessa Thompson from Haida, and Eva Victor from Sorry Baby. All very well-known actresses. Best performance by a male actor in a motion picture drama. We got Joel Edgerton as Train Dreams, a very popular film that is gaining wide-stream success. I'm very interested to see how that's going to go. Oscar Isaac as Dr. Victor Frankenstein in the character's namesake of a movie. It was pretty good. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in The Smashing Machine. Now, that one is definitely a big surprise for me because if you remember my review on that film, I don't think it was the best to come out of the year. The acting was pretty solid, but the overall story it was just very distracting of a movie. Michael B. Jordan in Sinners, very well-deserved nomination. Wagner Moira in The Secret Agent, and Jeremy Allen White in Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Best performance by a female actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. Here we go. Here's from all you entertainment lovers out there. We got Rose Byrne nominated for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I just got to admit, I love the title right there. I could just see that as a classic insult to just anybody who was just mad at somebody. Cynthia Erivo for Wicked for Good. That's pretty cool to see an actress nominated for a role that she was nominated for the previous year. That's actually pretty cool. Kate Hudson in Song Sung Blue. We got Chase Infinity, a newcomer here, nominated for One Battle After Another. She was actually very good in that film. Actually, one of the stronger elements, I'd say. Amanda Seyfried in The Testament of Anne Lee. I'm a big Amanda Seyfried fan. I can't wait to see what she does in the Housemaid coming up in a couple weeks with Sydney Sweeney. But as for this film right here, I wouldn't mind seeing her pull off a win. And then we got Emma Stone nominated for the third time, might I say, for Begonia. Best performance by a male actor in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. We got Timothée Chalamet and Marty Supreme, George Clooney and Jay Kelly, Leonardo DiCaprio in One Battle After Another. Easily one of the funniest people in the entire film. All you got to do is just watch the trailer and you'll be satisfied right there. We got Ethan Hawke nominated for Blue Moon, Lee Byung-hun in No Other Choice, and Jesse Plemons in Boygonia. Best performance by a female actor in a supporting role or any motion picture. We got Emily Blunt nominated for The Smashing Machine. Okay, I could see that happening. We got Elle Fanning in Sentimental Value. Very good choice. Ariana Grande in Wicked for Good. I think that one might be the win because if you remember my Big Oz episode that I did a couple weeks ago, you may remember that I think Ariana Grande as Glinda was a very good casting choice. And in Wicked for Good, I really thought that this was her movie. This was her story being presented this time around. And she knocked it all out of the park, bringing Glinda's story full circle, with just clever writing and just the themes used in that to tell her story. It really feels like she does become the classic character that we know from the 1939 film starring Judy Garland. Definitely knocked it out of the park. I'm actually hoping that she wins that award because it is very well deserved. We got Igna Bictor-Liesi. I am totally sorry to this actress for butchering this name, in Sentimental Value. I apologize so much. We got Amy Madigan in Weapons. That's actually pretty interesting to see. You remember my interview that we did with Kevin Scholey here a few months ago on the podcast. You might remember that. It was pretty good. It had its elements that slowed it down a little bit, but overall, as far as a horror film being taken seriously, I thought it was very well made, very well shot, and definitely sinister in certain areas. And then we got Tanya Taylor nominated in One Battle After Another. One Battle After Another is, I think that might be the sleeper hit right here. We'll see what happens when the award show happens. And then finally, in Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role in Any Motion Picture, we got Benicio del Toro in One Battle After Another. Very funny. It was just, can I say it was classic Benicio del Toro? It was just, I don't know, the role, there's certain movies that when they come out and an actor plays them, you feel that they're born to play that role. And just this character and just role that he played in this movie, it just felt right. It was very, very good. We got Jacob Elordi nominated for Frankenstein, and that might be the win. I think he has a shot at winning, as well as another person coming up on this list. It's going to be between the two of them. And if Jacob Elordi wins, I'm not going to complain. I'm going to celebrate. And if this one actor that also wins, I'm going to celebrate as well. We got Paul Mescal nominated for Hamnet, and we got Sean Penn nominated for One Battle After Another. That's the one that I'm going to predict that's going to win because Sean Penn was just so hypnotic in that film. He was demented. He was intriguing. He was scary. Just anything you're looking for in a modern movie villain. Just knocked it out of the park. And just like Benicio del Toro, there's roles that are born for actors to play. In a role like this, Sean Penn as this crazy army colonel, just born to play. It was kind of like him playing Mickey Cohen in Gangster Squad. It just fit. We got Adam Sandler nominated for Jay Kelly. That would be a surprise win, actually. That would actually be pretty cool. And then we got Stellan Skarsgård nominated for Sentimental Value. Now, you guys, obviously, you don't remember me saying this. I told all my coworkers this. I just never told my audience this, that the Academy Awards and the Golden Globes are like my Super Bowl and World Series. Yes, I love the Super Bowl and World Series, but when it comes to rewards that I'm going to go out of my way, make sure that I watch from start to finish, live on television, right in front of the TV, front row, you can kind of say, it's the Golden Globes and the Academy Awards, the Oscars. I love them as I was a kid. It's part of the reason I love filmmaking, and it's part of the reason that I love movies and television to this day right now. There's never been a year, as far as I can remember, that I have missed the Golden Globes or Academy Awards from start to finish. It's my thing. I love it. If you don't love it, well, that's okay, but don't sue me. The Golden Globes are set to be broadcast Sunday, January 11th. We got Nikki Glaser hosting again this year for the second time in a row, and I think that we are in store for a pretty good show because she is always very funny when it comes to her dragged out and eccentric monologues. They are just hilarious. She did a very good job on SNL hosting about a month ago. Let's get over to a change of topic right now. We're going to be talking about a film that's nominated in one of these categories. In fact, we are going to be talking about a film that is nominated for Best Animated Feature. I already said it was the highest grossing animated film of all time. It went on to make over $1 billion at the box office, and it's barely been out a week right now. I'm talking about, of course, Zootopia 2. Let's check out a preview because, let's be honest, I really got to catch my breath.
Money money box. This is a make or break assignment. Fail and I will split you up.
No snake has set foot in Zootopia in forever.
Hops and Wild?
Wild and Hops. The dream team.
The furry community reigns supreme, and I'm not going to disagree with that, because Zootopia is a film that you can argue plays it safe, but is original enough to stand as a passing entertaining sequel. It's proof that goes to show that when you take your time with the film sequel, the result is something worth waiting for. Jason Bateman and Jennifer Goodwin are back to voice Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps respectively, and are joined by an amazing list of celebrity voice actors playing anthropomorphic animals. We follow the two as they investigate the return of a once-thought exiled reptile, and they uncover yet another dark secret their beloved world holds. It's needless to say, but Zootopia 2 felt like I watched the first film all over again to a certain degree. However, it introduces new originality to the world and a new range of jokes that help it feel more like the sequel it's meant to be. Not to mention it contains good acting, themes that we can take seriously in our own world, and a nice escape into a bright, light reality. If you enjoyed the first movie, then the second one is already considered a winner in your book. It's a Slacker scale B.
I will show you the way.
Oh no.
This past weekend saw the release of another highly anticipated sequel, this time in the horror genre with Five Nights at Freddy's 2. We see our three main characters are dealing with their own dramas following the events of the first film, but no one compares to Elizabeth Lail's Vanessa, whose PTSD is to the extreme due to her past with her haunted serial killer of a father. This is as a new form of animatronic terror is unleashed, not just on the old pizzeria, but on the whole town. Lail puts on an amazingly haunting performance in a film that overall is good, but has its elements that bring it down a notch. The horror genre is felt, but it's combined with aspects that you can't help but laugh at throughout 60% of its sinister moments. It's once we get to the second and third acts do things begin to feel forced, such as characters not needed at all, pointless attempts to be campy, and overall confusing details that don't feel paid off by the film's end. Overall, I'd say Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is better than its predecessor, and it checks off everything a sequel should do, but its dependence on the lore could be distracting, and it gets in the way of all that really is satisfying. It's a Slacker scale C. Well, that's going to wrap up this week's episode of Slack on Flicks, the podcast. I hope you enjoyed me ranting and going a little bit crazy about the Golden Globe nominations. But, you know, as I said, this is my favorite time of the year. It has to do with Christmas, of course. We got the award season upon us. I'm just a happy guy right now. Of course, you can read my full reviews of the films we discussed on WNDU.com. And leading up to this year's Academy Awards that will most likely happen in March, we are going to be counting down to the Oscars once again, just like we did last year, and reviewing all the films that are nominated for Best Picture. Well, I'm Benjamin Slack. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time.